Buckle up, guys. It's 9 p.m. And while the mainstream media is busy talking themselves in, or tucking themselves in, sorry, we are just getting started. You're watching the Conservative Viewpoint's weekend wrap up, and I'm Charlie. And I hope you guys had a great weekend because we've had a mountain of truth to climb tonight, and we're going to start climbing, I'm telling you. The establishment is moving faster from the halls of Pennsylvania Senate to the streets of California and all the way to the front lines where our president is standing in the gap. And we aren't holding back tonight, guys. So I want you to grab a seat, get comfortable, get active in chat. I want to see your opinions on every single topic that we go over. So let's get to work, shall we? So we're going to be starting off, of course, with the main topic of the weekend. But first off, I'm going to start talking about right here at home because the capability or culpability begins on our own doorsteps. It's time to have a very serious conversation about why Karen Bartolotta needs to resign immediately. And I'll give you the reasons why coming up. Let's keep going down through here because there's too much going on. And I'm not going to give them away right now, so I'm going to have to scroll back down through what I've put on here because I put all the reasons down, but I want you guys to hear it coming up from who it's coming from and the good reasons of why. So let's move on to the third attempt on Trump's life. If you think the local portrayal is bad, look at the national stage. We are tracking the chilling, breaking details of what appears to be the third assassination attempt on President Trump. It happened Saturday night at the Washington Hilton correspondence dinner. It's crazy, right? We've all heard it. So hopefully I've got the most latest updates for you guys. So we're going to see what's coming up here because the suspect, armed with guns, knives, actually rushed the lobby. I got that video for you. Trying to get into the ballroom. A Secret Service agent was hitting the vest, but thank God he had it on because he's going to be okay. But this is the third attempt on Trump's life. Never in history have you ever seen this on any president. But the rhetoric coming out of these dumbass Democrats' mouths is what's causing all this violence in this country. It's dangerous. It's unacceptable. And they are desperate because they know they can't stop him at the ballot box. So we're going to break down the security at the event and how they did a great job of stopping this guy. Unlike what you're hearing in the fake news media and all this stuff, is he still alive? Yes, he is. So it was a job well done. And the meeting in an attempt to downplay, the media is attempting to downplay all this, a literal war against our president. And finally, we're heading to the West Coast, where the corruption is so deep, they're actually trying to make the truth illegal. Nick Shirley has been out there doing the heavy lifting, awesome job, exposing the absolute rot within the California Democrat machine, specifically when it comes to massive fraud in California. And how did the Democrats respond? By fixing the fraud. No. They're pushing an AB bill 2624 as we are calling it now, the Stop Nick Shirley Act. They are trying to legislate the end of investigative journalism to make it illegal to record and expose the very people involved in these fraud schemes. They are terrified of the light and shining on them because they're getting shown how corrupt they actually are. If they can silence one man with a camera, they can silence all of us. We've got the full report on how they're trying to kill the First Amendment in the Golden State and everywhere. We've got all this and the latest updates and a whole lot more coming your way tonight, guys. This is the news the elites want to bury, but we're digging it up live. I want to hear from you guys, so jump in chat. Tell me what you think about the betrayal and the Charleroi, the war on Nick Shirley, and all of us conservatives. So let's get this conversation started, right? So sit back, relax, because the Conservative Viewpoint starts right now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekend wrap up. Yes, we got a lot going on. Crazy ass weekend, right? It just doesn't get any crazier. I don't think so. But we've got all the shit it's coming up, guys. Sorry, but it's going to be crazy night tonight because of the stuff that's going on. Oh, yeah, State. We're going to get them. We're going right now. Welcome to the show, State. Pat. I see Pat. Pat is here. I see Pat. I did see Pat. I'm scrolling up through here. Oh, yeah. That dark money, casino money, and Cameron bought a lot of DeWeese. Shame on her. Exposed their lies. Fact. That's exactly what we're going to do. So welcome to the show, everyone. Anyone new to the show, welcome. We love having you. Get in there. Get in chat. Give us a shout out. All you in Facebook, come on. Just give me a hi, kiss my ass, whatever you want. I don't care. As long as I can see your face on there, or at least your name, I'll know you're there. So come on, give us a shout out too, so we can give you a shout out back. So let's give a shout out to everybody. We got who we got? We got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Twitch, we got X, we got Rumble, Getter, and kicking it off tonight, guys. Welcome everyone. It's great to see you. Hi, Becky. How's Becky doing over there in Facebook? So we're going to give a shout out over here to Rumble and the Wimpkin Warriors over here. We got them all happening. Let me get my mouse over there. Trying to still get used to this, guys. But hey, welcome to the show, guys. Oh, Pat. And the Texas Tammy is right there. She is right there. Texas Tammy. And Colin from Scotland. Oh, Rock Justice. What happened, Rock? Guys, Gregory Allen Cards Jr., truck driver extraordinaire, man. I tell you what, yes, sir. He keeps me updated on all the prices around the country because he's everywhere. He could be in California one day, hell on the East Coast the next. You never know where that man's at. He got a good podcast. Check it out. It's over on Rumble under Greg Carnes Jr. Want to check it out? Great show, guys. Go check it out over here if you're on Rumble. Welcome, everyone. Got to get going, man. We got a lot going on, but guess what? We got to get over here. Shit. I got to get my getter up. Hold on a sec. That's important right there. I did not get it up. I was busy doing some other stuff. And I got some good information coming up on the Butkin campaign and the Cameron Bartolotta campaign. We got a lot going on there. And I can't believe I did not get my getter up. We got to get them. I got to say hi to them. Everybody's in here. We got to say hi. So what's going on, everyone? Let me get this one over here first. I can't believe I didn't get that up quick enough. Busy trying to get things downloaded and everything. It's crazy, right? It only takes a second to get her going over here. So there we go. They should be on here in 2 seconds. Real quick. I got to go to a different browser to get them to come up. I got to use Chrome on some stuff. I got to use Microsoft Edge on another. It's just ridiculous. So here we go with them right there. Guys, we definitely got a lot going on because of what happened. All right. I'll get them coming up here. I got to say hi and we'll show them. But we are going to get out and get moving here. And he's just south of Albuquerque. Currently, then off to Roanoke, Texas. Roanoke, and then off to Douglas, Georgia. See the man? I told you. West Coast. That was Gregory Allen Cards Jr., truck driver. He's all over the place, man. I'm telling you. Crazy, right? Yes, sir, Bob. So they'll be coming up shortly. Guys, we are starting off with the Trump deal tonight because I had it switched up when I did it. It was crazy, right? Radical right, Sean Justice. What happened, man? Rock Justice just told me it's 326 in Indiana, which is not bad at all. Zero state gas, 5 cents to fill a tank in Iran. Holy shit. That's crazy, right? So we got a little update on Iran, not very much in here, I believe. Gotta tell you, because it took up everything with Trump's assassination attempt. It's crazy, right? But we all know Trump was safely evacuated and the gunmen from California apprehended during the correspondence dinner. Let me get my videos back up here. So don't forget, give me a shout out, guys, so we can see you. and make sure that you're in here. Conrad, what's happening, man? Sorry, guys, I'm bugging, trying to get things set up right today. I had a busy day. Had to go like 4 hours away and get back here enough time to get everything done because I put my ad out like 6 o'clock this morning because I bolted at 7:30. So it's crazy. Got back here, had to work out and everything, get stuff done outside. It's not very easy, guys. So what do we got here? They ID'd, of course, the suspect, and they secured his home. They took all that stuff out. And, of course, you guys, I know you've heard all this all day long. Colin Allen is Thomas Allen, I think is what is Tomas Allen or something like that. 31 towards California is a man. And you know what? You guys had to have seen this, and I'm going to show you to you again. This picture has been circulating all over the place, and guess what? It's fake. Yes, it is. It is a fake photo. The claims of the platforms like X, Twitter, all that, stuff. Various fake news blogs claim that Alan Guthrie was a former personal driver, that his wife worked for. He's not even married. The images are being shared are typically side-by-side comparisons and digitally altered composites intended to create a false link between the two. The reality is the law enforcement and verified reports confirm that Allen, 31-year-old Torrance, California, lived with his parents, was not married. There is no record of him ever working for NBC or Savannah Guthrie. The rumors gained traction partly because Savannah Guthrie had been in the news for unrelated personal reasons because of her mother and about what's going on now. So people put this together, but the guy was heavily educated. He was educated. He was an amateur game developer, a tutor, but in typical, not a nutcase like you would expect, right? But the individual had no known ties to any media organization or journalist or anything like that. So when you guys are seeing stuff, we got to kind of take it and make sure you do your research on it before you throw that stuff out there. But it is fake. So people wanting to put stuff out there, we don't do that stuff. We make sure. I do try to research everything before I put stuff out there. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I don't. It happened. But I made sure we got to make sure it's not put out there at all. Yo, what up, Lee? What happened, Lee? Fixer's in the house. What up, Fix? The Fix is in. There he is right there, guys. All right. Mr. Joe Public. I see Joe Public over there. What happened, Joe? So they get this guy. He did come in and was arraigned today. Didn't hear much about that. But I did have a picture of that. I don't know what happened to it. But everybody will sit there and they want to sit there and talk about how bad the Secret Service did. Well, no, I think they did pretty damn well. They kept the guy from getting in to where Trump was at, into the hall. So, second look and see what they did to stop him. But they said they could do more. They could do more. How? You think about it. How are you going to do more when you don't know what's going to happen? You can be prepared for only so much and so much time. Take a look at this and see how this guy bolted through there, but they stopped him almost immediately. Take a look.
It looked like he checked it twice.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this there?
Here he comes up. Obviously. Shall I post it as soon as he passed down that?
18, go for
Now you see what he did. He come bolting through there, and they stopped him not long after that. So they stopped him. They said, well, you could have stopped him before that. How? You wouldn't even know it. He checked in to this Hilton the day before. He developed the game how to get on national news. And he perfected it, didn't he, Conrad? He perfected that one. Who checked off the entire cabinet being there? That building is not secured. Exactly. They're they're meant to secure a building days before, but this guy had no background other than being a partial substitute teacher and all kind of shit like that. So that's the stuff that it's in, because you would have never noticed. But he traveled from California by train, I think they said, to Chicago, and then from Chicago into DC. So it's definitely a planned deal. But he was calling 31-year-old computer scientist from California is accused of opening fire on Trump. So I've gotten almost every article that they put out there. Now, stunning new details revealed that the depraved motivation of the suspected shooter, and they did put it out, and that's what I think I have it in here somewhere under the Democrat portion of this, because of the fact that the Democrats are lying about all this, but they are the problem behind of all this. Everything that I read to you. Yeah, Joe Public's right. Joe Public said the room should have been swept. Fact, because then they would have found the weapons that he had with him. Because you go to a hotel, they don't check for weapons on you. So that's a fact right there. Picture's right. Picture said the story will change multiple times in the coming weeks. That is a fact. How many stories have we heard by the other shooters? But there is similarities between two of these guys. Oh, yeah. Attempted assassins. I'll tell you about that here coming up. Build the ballroom. Rock Justice said it right. And that's fact. But you see how tough we got a president with some balls behind him here. Trump wanted to go back on. They told him he wasn't going. This is the only time that he has to listen to him. But he wanted to go back on. But he did go on, and he did do his message afterwards. If that was Joe Biden, that some bitch would have been sitting in a corner crying his little eyes out and pooping in his diaper. Not Trump. Trump, badass man, idiot. With the Florida attempted assassin, he was still golfing. When Butler, he went back to the same place he got shot at. This one, he went out and did his message after the fact. The man has got some cojones on him that you got to give it to him, man. I'm telling you what. Match the pattern, find your answer. The story. Oh, it will. We're going to see a lot changing here throughout the weeks, guys, because they're going to hear more out in court. According to Kash Patel, there is so much. I couldn't even get everything in here because of this reason. But they said that this guy was like, what was supposed to be a fun night with Duce was hijacked by a depraved, crazy person. I don't really call him crazy. He was manipulated by the Democrats, how they all are from the violent rhetoric. And I will show you some of that here coming up here later on in the show. But the guy was definitely but they're calling him depraved, crazy person who sought to assassinate Trump and killed as many top administration officials as possible, which was part of his, what did he put out? That memoir or whatever he put out. That you guys know what I'm talking about. Give me the answer, guys. I have read so much of this stuff in here that's crazy. Now, this guy has familiarities like Ryan Ralph, or however you want to say it. 9 weeks of Thomas Matthew Crook's attempt in Donald Trump's life on July 13th, rally in Pennsylvania. Ryan Ralph tried his hand at assassinating the candidate Trump at the Trump International Golf Course. And Allen identified as a suspect in an open correspondence dinner this Saturday. Besides making donations to the same party and obsessing over the same foreign power by Ralph, who was sentenced in February to life in prison in his attempt, so did this guy. Now, although not a registered member of a political party, both party for decades, Ralph was 60 years old, near North Carolina native. They made multiple donations to support Democrats beginning in 2019 and voted for North Carolina Democratic Party in March 2024. This is the similarity that these people have. They both were obsessed with Ukraine also. So there's too much with their. Are they crazy? We can't call him crazy. He's definitely a well-educated crazy man if he was, but he was manipulated like all these other sheep by the Democratic Party. I would not doubt that a bit, Pix. The vaccinations seem to have everyone that's got them getting a little loose in the head. I'm telling you. What else we got here? We got the gunman manifesto. There it is. The social media accounts have been found that he said he targeted Trump and was a No Kings rally attendee. There is so much that they're finding out about this guy. It's unbelievable. But Allen attempted to rush past security with a number of weapons, including guns, knives, and of course his bullets. He did shoot that one Secret Service agent in the vest. Thank God he was wearing his vest, but he's going to be fine. It's going to hurt like hell because he was pretty up close and personal with him. So that's going to hurt like hell. I don't care how big your vest is. It's going to hurt. But even more than civility, we need humility. Because most assassins and failed assassins are more than anything else. Their grievances are totally incoherent. Cole Allen, the man who allegedly tried to shoot Trump and the people, Allen's apparent manifesto was eerily lucid, and to the extent he was divorced from reality. It was exactly as divorced as the standard NPR listening. No Kings protesters is divorced from reality. Calling a Trump a racist, a pedophile, a traitor, accusing him of administration of starving children, when in fact it's totally the opposite. We showed you before that these kids that are being held in ICE detention centers are sitting at computers, playing in a nice place. And of course, with the Democrats, yes, TDS running wild. This is what's been good. Texas Red, what's going on, Texas Red? The FBI wrote that one pretty quick. They wrote him a lot of stuff pretty quick there, Fix. The guy wasn't some one-off lone wolf. None of these individuals are such a thing. They're cowards. Exactly, Rock. They are all cowards. But the fact is that this guy was not some crazy bitch like all the other ones that you see in here and all these people that are out there committing the violence and the nutcases that they actually interview that can't answer a single question. The problem isn't the liberals are uncivil. This is that the liberals are too convinced that they are correct. This is the problem that predates Trump's era. This is not enough of epistemic humility on the left half of American political discourse. This is what's going on. The right has adequate humility, but it needs to be fixed. This stuff is, the Obamas what started all this stuff, and they just continue to go. And it doesn't stop with this stuff. This is why stuff has got to be changed. The rhetoric coming out of the Democrats' mouth, which will show up here in a couple minutes, that too much is going on over here. My whole shit's going crazy over here. But it's going nuts, and I don't get a lot going on. I cannot see everything. Hey, Tom. So much fake stuff going on, and we got it coming up too. We're going to be going into that here in a second. But Jeannie Perot actually revealed what the assassin would be charged with, but he did get today, he got charged with attempted assassination of a president. He also is getting, where did it go? Charged with having a weapon. Where the hell did it go? Damn it. I'll get to it here in a second here. No, it was not that far down. Where is it at? Damn it. Here it is. Okay, he's getting charged with 2 counts of using a firearm during a crime of violence, assault on a federal officer, using a dangerous weapon, and the attempted assassination of the Ralph got life. This guy should see life plus because he did shoot a federal agent. So we're going to see what happens with that when that comes around. They need to televise all this stuff. Now, the alleged White House shooter was a Kamala supporter. That just tells you he's nuts right there, right? That's all you need to hear right there. Game developer, radical wide awakes members. There's all people are afraid of this stuff that's going on. Now, of course, Blanche had to shut down the fake news media. CBS's Margaret Brennan after she tries to turn this shooting into a gun control debate. You saw this all over the place. I made comments on Facebook and everywhere else. That's the first thing these dumbass liberals want to do. Gun control. Gun control. You think that guy gave two shits about guns or laws or anything like that when he did this? Do you think about any criminals care about laws? Politicians don't care about laws. Why the hell would criminals do it? So give me a break with this dumb gun control bullshit. Maybe Trump needs to begin to wear a bulletproof. You got that right, Becky. Becky on Facebook said maybe he needs to wear bulletproof vests. I think that's a fact right there. I think good idea there, Becky. That is a great idea. But I am going to show you some videos here real quick. Here is a close-up at the time of the shooting on Trump. Take a look at this one. Now you guys heard the shots in that. And you think it's a man that got shot in the head over here would hear that stuff and he would like freak out. I think I would. But he just sat there and kept listening to that guy show him those cards. It's like, oh shit. You heard the shots yourself. And he just sat there, him and Melania, with no problem. It's like, damn, isn't that crazy? But yeah, this dumb bitch, CBS, and all the other ones are trying to spin this any which way they can. But you know what they're crying about the worst? They are crying about Dana White because he shocked the internet with reactions to the shooting. He said it's fucking awesome. That's his words, not mine. Sorry about the language. But they're freaking out over that because he was tabled right up next to the stage where Trump was at. And you guys know who Dana White is. UFC president. Oh, yeah. And he was sitting there and he said, the criticism is described at the shooting Saturday night. He said it's fucking awesome while recounting the chaotic security response. White was seated near the table and the gunman breached the security checkpoint. More than 2,000 guests, including journalists, cabinet members, and all those guys. He said Secret Service ordered the attendees to get down. He did not. White stayed up, running, checking it out. He said he saw people flipping tables over, guys running with guns. White told the USA Today, he said, they were telling me to get down. I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was pretty crazy, unique experience. He added that he was seated close to where Trump was at moments before the agents moved in and took him out. There's another man with some big cojones right there, buddy. But yeah, why would you get down? If you're going to die, you might as well take it all in. And he did it. And this is what they're freaking out about. You should watch South Park. Oh my God, Greg. But this is funny how they went over. What's happening, man? Yeah, Hegseth protected his wife. But this is the fact is that why would you get down if you're going to die? And he didn't do it. I love it. But this is what the left and the journalists are freaking out over. But don't worry. They had to get their bottles of wine before they left. You guys remember seeing that? Oh yeah. Here we go. Take a look. I tried. Oops. They did not put any names out. They did not put any names out about who these people were, but they were worried about their wine. That was after the shooting, and they canceled everything. So they had to snatch their bottles of wine up. Oh, yeah. That's not crazy. People got to have it. It's part of their script. The media has their orders. Oh, most definitely, Greg. That's a fact right there. Bob Kennedy didn't get down either. Right there from Texas Red. You got to love it, right? The wino works for Ukrainian embassy in D.C. Okay, there's one right there. She'll be back tomorrow night. Shell will be back tomorrow night. Oh, okay. Shell better be back tomorrow night. Isn't that funny, though? They worried about their wine. When there was a shooter out there, they could have been more. They don't know. But you got to love Dana White for fucking awesome. And now we go to Bobby Kennedy. Didn't get down either. There you go. We got some steel balls right there, baby. But Fetterman's calling on the Democrats to drop the TDS and build the White House ballroom after the shooting. Fact right there. They're going to be kissing Trump's ass after he leaves with that ballroom being in there because that's what they're going to be using. And this is the same. It's going to keep going and going no matter what. Now, of course, today, Caroline Leavitt did her last press conference because she's leaving for maternity leave, and she's blaming the left-wing cult of hatred after this dinner shooting. And she is exactly right there. You see people sit there and want to sit there and say the threat's never there, and no, they don't go threat. No, nothing like that. Even Glenn Beck says the threats are real. Issues an urgent call for courage as violence against conservatives are escalating. This all comes from the Democrats' mouths running their freaking mouths, and I'm going to show them to you coming up here real soon. But they want to sit there and they want to try to frame Trump and one. Oh man, another one that didn't work. My newspaper or my ads for Newsmax have not been coming up for some reason. And they're crashing all of them, but oh well. But this is coming from journalists and Democrats, and they're all doing Democrats' bidding. So you got CNN journalists here, so-called journalists, calling Trump a guy who wants us dead minutes before the correspondence shooting. Minutes before. Funny how that works, right? But Ratskin, he acts clueless when pressed on Democrats' anti-Trump rhetoric following this shooting, saying, oh, there was no such thing as violence coming out of the Democrats' mouth. No, really? Oh, let's see about that right here. I got just one of some of their rhetoric that's coming out of their big mouths. Take a look.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death. Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
But no, no violent rhetoric coming out of those dumbass Democrats' mouth, right? This is the reason that we're seeing all this go on. Now, what do you think is the answer to all this? And that is when I tell you guys to keep your head on a spindle and make sure it's rotating all the time. This is why. And what is it going to take? Is it going to take us to stand up to these people, to stop this stuff? These mentally crazy ass people out there is not going to stop. And the government can't do it and won't do it because especially Democrats, they want this shit to happen. Hakeem Jeffries declared maximum warfare on Republicans days before the Trump assassination attempt, calling for warfare. That bald-headed bitch did it. This is the stuff that's going on, guys, that's got to be stopped. And it's no doubt, guys, we are going to have to protect ourselves every ounce of this because you're not going to get it from this government. Psycho fucking, yeah, exactly, Conrad. Obama tries to get away with an absurd lie about the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. You know what he tried to do? And I'm going to scroll down here real quick because what he says is, although we don't have the details about the motives behind last night's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, it's incumbent upon all of us to reject the idea that violence has any place in our democracy. It's also a sobering reminder that courage and sacrifice. The problem was, we knew all of this. We've known the whole motive. He tried to sit there and say there was no motive sought. And this Republican on here, Data Republican, says, we know the full motive. The shooter wrote it in his manifesto. The shooter wanted to kill Trump and his cabinet. And he was talking to Obama and telling him why he's lying to people. Typical Democrat, lying piece of shit, racist piece of garbage right there. And he's sitting there trying to lie to people, saying we don't know the motive. They already read his manifesto. They were in his parents' house and shook it down before we even knew about it. And this is what's going on with these dumbass Democrats lying about everything. But now, you know, when this came out and all this stuff was happening, the DOJ come back with something that was amazing. And the fact is, the DOJ has announced the return of the firing squad as an execution method. Oh my God. Can I apply for that job? Please? I will bring my own gun, my own bullets, and please, please, please give me a job. They did. I love it. I love it. I love it. They're going to bring that back. The Manchurian candidate is Barry. Oh, yes. That's crazy, right? I want that job. This is what, and I had to throw that in there right after this stuff because it is very necessary of everything going on. Because people sit there and want to say, and they were questioning Trump when he was making a speech about this. And one reporter asked him if he wanted to live. And what's his response? Right here.
Believe me, because, you know, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone.
That is a fact right there, what he just said. Did anybody go after Joe Biden? No. Why? Because he didn't know what the hell, he didn't know what day it was. He had no impact except the crushing of our economy, the destruction of our world, of our country. He had no impact, no good impact on this country. Look at Lincoln and everybody. Lincoln freed the slaves and everybody. And Reagan. Just look at them. And you can see what they've done and what made them go after them. Because they made a great impact on this country. And this is what the Democrats don't want to happen. They don't want our country being great again. That's why nobody goes after Democrat presidents. Because they don't do anything to help fix this country. And the Democrats sure to hell don't do it. They ruined this country. So nobody goes after them. So Trump was right. And the man wants to live, and there's a man that actually cares about this country. And he said this, they can't say it now that because he's president. No, he said this before he even decided to even want to become president. He said he loved this country, and he was talking about everything that needed done. He was talking about Iran and the Middle East and everything like that before you even decided to run for president. All you got to do is do your own research and look. Everybody loved Trump before he decided to run for president. Oh, yeah, Democrats and all of them. All right, let's get into the local news real quick here, guys, because my local race we got going on here with Bartolotta and Al Butkin getting crazier by the minute. So right now I did find out that Al Butkin is suing casino people, and that's what I was trying to get on here for false and defamatory mailers that they're sending out. People are saying they're sending that they're working for Butkin with this dark money bullshit, and they're not. This is just another ploy coming from the other side. The opponents trying to get him. So he is definitely going to sue all of these people, and I don't blame them a bit for that because they're lying about stuff. I showed you all the fake mailers and stuff. We get more of them coming in here with Bartolotta and everything. So what I'm going to show you right now is this one comes from Patrick Smith on Facebook. I told you about last week about him. And it said, what would you be willing to do for a $3 million LSA grant? With no oversight on how it's spent, the LSA queen is at it again, using fake accounts to attack her own constituents on state time. And in none of her attacks has there been a rebuttal to the facts that have been brought forward. Less defensive attacks, camera, more rebuttals. This is why she wouldn't debate. She kept telling, and I kept telling you guys, she said she'd debate anybody that's officially on the ballot, right? And we're supposed to happen like Wednesday, I think it was supposed to happen or something like that. Well, she chickened out, and she will not debate him. He's officially on the ballot. There's nothing you can do to stop it, and she will not debate him. That's another one proven fact of why, she's bullshit rhino. That's all she is. Now, this one comes from Larry Michael Celeschi. Sorry if I said your last name wrong, but Larry Michael from Facebook. Reason number one why Cameron Bartolotta DeWeese needs to resign. For not standing with the Corel brand Pyrex employees when they were losing their jobs. That's a fact, Jack, he says. Just ask any of those employees. If she ever showed up to help them, they'll tell you, or should I say former employees, because they did lose their jobs. That is reason number one. Oops. Reason number two why Cameron Bartolotta DeWeese needs to resign. In 12 years of holding elected office, not one penny has been delivered to the borough of Charleroi by her. Zilch. That's a fact again, Jack, he said. Charleroi is the town where I was talking to you about those illegal criminals she had in there working. That has been knocked down time and time again, fighting to stay afloat. And yet, after more than a decade in power, where is the financial support from the Madam Senator? Where is the investment? Where is the relief from the people who live there and work there? At some point, results matter. And when the results are zero, being delivered from her, the excuses don't cut it anymore. Resign. Republican voters in Washington County and especially in Charleroi need to pay attention to what's going on in the 46th District State Senate race. If you don't vote for this change, don't expect improvement. Expect the worst for the next 4 years. Thank you for that, Larry. And we will have more reasons for her to resign coming up. He promised me that, so we will be looking for that one. Now, as far as Butkin goes, Al Butkin for Senate, he is honored to receive an official recommendation from the Firearms Owners Against Crime for the 2026 Pennsylvania primary election for state senate. Now, this thing is hard to get, guys. You've got to answer questions and everything on this stuff, and it is a hard thing to get. And it's about a 2-hour test on constitutional law and an hour interview. That is a strong group and a hard recommendation to get, but he did it, proving the facts that the lies coming out of this Bartolona DeWeese campaign is bogus bullshit going on. And then the fact they want to sit there and say that she's a Democrat or she's a Republican, she's conservative and all that bullshit, right? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not a Republican and get a picture taken with Josh Shapiro as a Democrat. It does not happen. It does not happen. You also, where am I thinking? Get over here so I can see. This does not happen. Not at all. You also do not help that mental freak get a promotion again, and that's a fact right there that she did this. Democrats, she supports, and her husband running fake accounts on Facebook sits there and runs his mouth to me and think we don't know who he is, and we can't find his IP address and everything through the fake names and stuff. He's dumbass old son of a bitch. This is what happens when you get idiots that believe that she's actually a Republican conservative, but you don't get pictures taken with a dumbass idiot Democrat that's ruined Pennsylvania along with the rest of the Democrat governors in here. You do not help a mental freak like that get a promotion. You do not vote for a Democrat bill that leaves us $3.6 billion in debt being a Republican. It doesn't happen. You guys can believe what you want, but it does not happen. And yeah, it's what's worse, it's a selfie. And the stuff on here, she said she promises never to take to vote herself a pay raise, right? But she had no problem taking 9 automatic pay raises that she received in office. Of course, what's she doing? Crossing her fingers right there. Yes. People got to wake up and see the facts of what's going on here, guys, because it's a fact that, yeah, Richard Levine is a mental freak. And why would you help, as a Republican conservative, why would you help a mental freak run the United States, and let alone Pennsylvania? Holy shit. This is why, guys, I cover it all. And we're making sure we find it out. Rhino, Maureen. Hi, Maureen. Maureen's over in Facebook. All right. Real quick here, guys, we got to get into Iran. And U.S. hopes for progress with Iran. But guess what? Iran says, don't count on it because there's going to be no direct talks. This one, Trump said that he called off Witkoff and Kushner's trip back to Pakistan because they don't need to be there. Iran's diplomat goes back to Pakistan while Trump says the U.S.-Iran talks, it could be done by phone now. So that's fact. It's over with because they're not going to do shit. This is the stuff that's happening, guys, because Iran doesn't want to deal. They're acting tough, but they are on the edge of bankruptcy. I'm telling you what. All right, what else we got here? I'm keeping those Democrats video on here about the threats and stuff because I know this is going to come up later, but I should find more of them. Like I said, I rushed through today trying to get some of this stuff. And most of the stuff I didn't get to talk about for my local election stuff, but because there's so much going crazy here, and I hope to God Butkin is on the ballot. We've got to get him in. We've got to get a change into Pennsylvania as soon as possible. But I want to get to Nick Shirley here real quick, because Nick Shirley, he's done an awesome job for this young kid. He's a tough-ass little punk, right? I mean, not punk, but tough-ass little kid, because he confronts California Democrats trying to criminalize exposing fraud. It's people like me and everybody else that goes out, if we get out there like he does, and you brought up fraud, and they want you to go to jail. They do. I'm telling you what. This did I get the video on that in here? Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna let you look at the video yourself. Take a look at this real quick.
What do you think about the Stop Nick Shirley Act?
I think you're a psycho scam artist.
They don't want to end their fraud racket. A lot of the politicians, they benefit from the political organizations, and so they want this racket to continue. They don't want the truth to get out.
Stop fraud investigations, but you're the one who signed off and you're a co-author of it. Here in California, they are trying to pass the Stop Nick Shirley Act. The official title of this bill is AB 2624, and today we're going to be confronting the legislators that are trying to pass this bill. And if this bill were to get passed, instead of going after the fraudsters, they're trying to make it criminal to go after the people that are committing this fraud. For instance, it would become criminal to film and reveal info on taxpayer-funded immigration services like healthcare, which would include daycare, hospices. It also covers counseling services, translation services, and immigration legal services. So for instance, if the Quality Learning Center was inside of California, it would be illegal to expose them. It would make it illegal to film government-funded NGOs. And this bill essentially wants to shield the info of immigrant support services from the public. So your tax dollars, you'd have no idea where it's going, because it would then become confidential, and you would not be able to see how much money that NGO is getting if it's going towards immigrant services. And what makes this bill super interesting is the lady who created this bill, her name is Mia Bonta. Her husband is the Attorney General of California named Rob Bonta. You cannot make this up. So you have the Attorney General who's supposed to prosecute and go after the fraudsters, and then you have his wife who's trying to pass bills to go after the people exposing the fraud. Like, seriously, this is absolutely crazy. And the AG, Rob Bonta, just a few days ago said they were cracking down on the fraud way before certain people came into the state.
We've been doing it successfully before certain people in this country decided to think about it for the first time.
However, it was...
That's a fact right there. They are trying to take our First Amendment away. The Democrats have already done this with when they were under the Biden regime, and they had all the social media companies censoring us on all of them, YouTube and Facebook and everywhere. X, before it was sold out, when we talked about COVID, or you talked about the vaccine, or you talked about the 2020 election, they shut you off. Trust me, I know. They did it to me. This is what's going on. And Fixer's right. They just want to take away our First Amendment right, and that's what they've done, because they shut us down for every damn thing. Facebook did it to me the other day because of something on Friday's video, I think it was, on Friday's show. This is what they do constantly, and this is what they're trying to do here in California too. They're trying to stop every bit of freedom of speech that we have left in this country. And people want to sit there and say, what freedoms do you, when you ask liberals what freedom they've lost, they can't answer, but we can answer what freedoms we are losing. That's the bad part about all this. I tell you, God, with something we cannot have done. I'm telling you right now, we've got to watch our backs, as much as it's getting worse and worse every day. The last thing I'm going to shout out to you guys about is Trump strips citizenship. 700,000 files are under review. They are starting to get rid of citizenships, and I'm loving this. DOJ memo directs U.S. attorneys to prioritize revoking citizenships from naturalized citizens involving in terrorism, trafficking, and gangs. They have 700,000 files they're starting to work on. Start with that raghead herself in our own government and get her the hell out of there, because she is as fraud as could be. But I definitely had to get that in, guys. Tomorrow's show is going to be off the chain, too. You're not going to want to miss it. I got a lot of stuff in here that I did not get to put in today that we needed to be put in, but I couldn't fit it in, because you see what happened here with everything that's been going on. and it's not a lot of the same stuff with the shooting and stuff like that. This is a bunch of different stuff with the redistricting stuff from different states. I got for you. I got all different kind of stuff. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. So tomorrow I got no appointment, so I got time to sit down and actually put something together real quick. So I won't be here Wednesday, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. And I'll tell you why tomorrow. But guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's been a busy night, and I didn't get to see a lot, but a lot of you guys in chat were knocking it off. It's just great. You guys are awesome. These people are sick and filled with pure evil. That is what, Pat, you're right, Pat. This is what the Democrat Party is, guys. And my list keeps getting longer, and I keep forgetting everything. They're a party of pedophilia, party of violence, party of hatred, party of everything wrong with this country, guys. And that is a fact. That's not even a question anymore. They are the party of hatred. They hate this country because why? Because they have no power. They have no money laundering operations. They have nothing. Until they get that back, they are going to make it even worse when they do, if they ever get it back. This is why we make sure we stop them, guys, no matter what. At all costs, we've got to stop them. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'm going to leave you with this. Because, listen, we've covered a lot of ground tonight. But as we close the book on this Monday night, I want to leave you with this thought. So for the next 48 hours, guys, you got to listen. The world is loud. The headlines are heavy. And there are people out there who want you to feel like you're standing alone. But look at this chat, guys. Look at this community that we have. You are just viewers. You are the front line. You are the people who still believe that truth isn't a suggestion, and this country is worth the fight. As Winston Churchill once said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts, and that's what you guys have. You have the courage to continue for the truth. I want to thank every single one of you guys for spending your Monday night here with me. Your time is the most valuable thing you own. I do not take you guys for granted at all. I love you guys totally for coming on here, sharing it, and being the tough people that you are. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the fire in chat and for keeping the spirit of liberty alive. Now go out there, be a leader in your community, sleep well, stay sharp, and keep your head on the swivel. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night, 9 p.m., right after the Rebel Chick with a Cause. That starts at 7 p.m., guys. So wait. Tomorrow night's going to be another massive show. We're already digging into some stories that they're going to blow the doors off the hinges. So you don't want to miss a single second. So until then, guys, have a great night. Stay strong. God bless. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.